Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 5 with Boys on the Mic. I'm Rexy, and I'm joined here with No Wakas and Kausa. Today, we'll be talking about AI imagery, PS5 Pro, and endangered native languages. All right, let's run the intro.
Welcome to the Boys on the Mic, the one-stop audio and video experience where the worlds of gaming and technology collide. I'm Nowakas, and I'm thrilled to be here with the dynamic duo, Kausa and Rex. How's it going, guys?
Hey Nowakas! Hey listeners! Kausa here. We're pumped to bring you another episode filled with the latest and the greatest in gaming and tech. No matter what kind of gamer you are or how tech savvy you might be, we got something just for you.
That's right, Rexy here, and we're stoked to have you join us. Whether you're a long-time listener or just discovering the podcast, you're in for a treat. We dive deep into all things gaming and tech, bringing you the news, reviews, and experiences from around the digital world.
And don't forget, if you love the vibe, hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It helps more gamers and tech enthusiasts like you find our show. Follow us on Tech Trio Tales to stay in the loop and become part of our growing community.
Got a topic you want us to cover? Or you just want to share your latest gaming victory? Reach out to us on our socials or in the comment section. We love hearing from our listeners.
All right, team, gear up because it's time to jump into another epic episode. Let's revive, respawn, power up, and go!
Welcome, boys.
All right.
I love that intro, eh? That's so good.
Yeah.
How are we, guys? How are we doing today?
Feeling good, man. Feeling pumped up. Happy to do another episode. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, blessed, man. Blessed to be here. I'm really excited to get into some of the topics that we're discussing today.
Yeah, new year, new guys. Well, we see the same guys, but yeah, still doing the same thing.
Yeah. Happy New Year's to everybody. All right, let's get into it. So the topic that I'm bringing today in the podcast is AI imagery. And I just wanted to discuss about it because it's growing and it's getting a lot of hype because the pictures that they're creating are almost, I wouldn't say they're becoming real, but it's making people, believe that what they're seeing
could be real or not.
Whether it's real or not. And it's something that I just wanted to discuss with you guys, and like all these different tools that we use, like Imagery, DALL-E, and Adobe Firefly. They can be fun tools, but they can also be dangerous as well. So like it's good for people that are using it for the right reasons, but at the same time, people that are using it for the wrong reasons can spread, disinformation and lies. And I think that preparing ourselves just for this sort of scenario to embrace it when it happens, because it's happening as we speak. So I just wanted to bring that up and see how you guys would feel about it.
I think it's a good time to talk about it. From what I was, some videos that I watched the last couple of weeks, they said that this year it's going to be the year that it's going to be hard to distinguish what is real and what's not. So I think create awareness at some point. It's like in the early stages is what we need to do. Just knowing exactly how to identify how AI is working, I think it's really important.
Yeah, I saw a video of a car burning that was built in Unreal Engine 5, and seriously, you could not tell the difference because they actually put the 3D object in a real video. So it's kind of like augmented reality, but you really couldn't tell that it was fake until they grabbed a cylinder and moved it through the smoke. And you could see that it was actually being generated. Like it was so realistic that, I wouldn't have been able to tell. I thought it was real.
And it's crazy that you said like it's actually a 3D model. And imagine now that the Apple Vision is coming to the table. Like now, you're gonna be able to record 3D videos, so they could use that and overlay that with anything that they want.
Yeah, so it's something that's sort of coming new to the market and it's getting more real. And the videos that the AIs can create are only short at the moment, but eventually they will become longer and it'll be indistinguishable from real footage. So that's what I was sort of saying as well. It's gone from the images to video as well. So you can create something or think of something now, and AI can help you make it happen.
I know with some of the videos as well, at the moment, what's available out there is that it's frame by frame. So AI will generate maybe 5 seconds, and it'll be, if it's 25 FPS, it'll be 25 frames that they generate per second. So you can understand that creating that from scratch, just from an AI point of view, it actually takes a lot of processing power, and that's why it's not as common at the moment, because it's very intensive on the hardware side of things. You probably would have seen a lot of people have been uploading videos at the moment of like music videos, and the person or the image is changing constantly. Like it'll change from, like, let's say it's a picture of a guy, and it'll be Rastafarian, then he'll change into like an Egyptian god or like a skeleton or a Terminator sort of.
Yeah.
Those are the AI videos at the moment that they're using, and those videos as well are not completely created from scratch. They are actually using reference material. So they're using a video and they're just changing what the video, like what it looks like. But all that stuff is AI.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I feel like it's no more about, okay, probably it's not quite there, but at the pace that it's going, it's gonna be in no time we're gonna see this in the market. And it's scary how to put it out there and say, oh, maybe it's gonna be a couple months. But to be honest, I feel like it's probably be about time. Like probably next week you might have some stuff out there.
Yeah.
And it's just constantly growing as well. I did just want to share images that were generated by AI. If you can just put that up on the screen. And man, if you just look at this straight away, you can't tell that is AI generated, right? If you just look at it from the distance, you're like, wow, that's a picture of Joe Biden and Donald Trump playing chess.
Yeah.
And
what a friendly match.
So yeah, I just found this on a tech update, and I thought that was a cool example just to see sort of what the capabilities are. And honestly, it's constantly growing, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference in the future, I reckon.
At some point, I thought it was gonna be just, let's say, our grandmas that they don't have that much knowledge about it, like internet and all that. But you see these, and even it can trick us. Like even if you've been using the internet for your whole life, like it can still get you.
And obviously, like the biggest thing that stands out about this image is that it's Joe Biden and Donald Trump playing chess on what looks like the White House lawn.
Yeah.
But the main thing that you can see, and I was talking to Rex about this, is that there are small things about these pictures that just don't 100% make sense. Like the first one on the top left, their hands are touching in a chess game. That doesn't really make sense. The chessboard as well, the chess pieces are all set up incorrectly. The one on the right, top right, all the chess pieces are black. That doesn't make sense either. On the bottom left, their hands are too close. They're not sitting opposite each other on the table. And then on the bottom right, they are sitting opposite each other on the table. The chess pieces are wrong, but that could be a situation. But also, if he had got to that stage, there would be chess pieces off the mat as well. So
you also have different tables in each picture. Like
you could really pick apart this image and be able to tell that it's AI. But like Nick was saying, sorry, Kausa, it's gonna be way more harder to differentiate this from reality when it gets better.
Yeah, once they start growing.
Let me ask you this question. This is just image, right? We talk about that video might be a reality, but what about if it's a voice? If you go to the next slide, we have this headline that someone got a call from a relative that it was dead, and they got a call asking them for money. And this is, from what I heard, AI now can replicate your voice by using 3 seconds of whatever you can say. And imagine just now us talking, imagine all the content I can use to recreate your voice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy. Like you don't even need voice at the moment. People are getting scammed just by getting text messages from, like, let's say a mother gets a text message from the daughter saying, I'm in trouble, send me money, here's the account details. That stuff has already happened at the moment. So you add audio to that, and it just creates another level of authenticity, because that's like the thing with like these messages, right? Like it puts somebody in a state of panic, so they're not going to check all the details. And if you have the voice as well, like you're not going to question that really.
Game over, bro. Game over, man. Just imagine if you got a call from your son or your daughter and they were like, Dad, I need money. Can you send it to me straight away at this account? You're not going to be like, are you real? Like, who are you? Like, what the?
Yeah.
But I guess that's going to happen in the future now. Like, you're going to, because this is becoming more and more, unfortunately, common, people are going to be asking this question a lot more. Like, they're going to be questioning if it's coming from a random number, you know, or there's, there's little things that they like that you have to try and pick up on, like whether it's the style that somebody texts in or the way that they talk.
Create a secret word. It's almost
that's
like
a good one. Yeah.
I feel like also at the pace that everything is becoming, like you need to create also your own security solution. So I guess like it's more like finding something easy that you and let's say your son can have as a secret word, and then whenever someone is under pressure, you just ask that question, and you know if they don't answer straight away, you know you can spot if it's whether it's fake or not.
The only trouble with that I could see is that if somebody found that secret word, then they would have your trust completely. Maybe it's kind of like how it works at the moment with passwords on computers. There needs to be another way to authenticate it. Obviously, we're talking about voicing, which is like biometrics, but maybe even just sending a text to your son to their actual phone number to double check before you send money, things like that. Like you just have to really check and triple check.
Yeah. I think just protecting ourselves and others requires a lot of critical thinking skills and just remaining vigilant, when you're dealing with different stuff and just not accepting everything at face value.
Agreed.
And I think, we're no longer in the era where seeing is actually no longer seeing is believing. It's something that we all have to prepare ourselves for. And it's not only to protect ourselves, but our family as well. So I think, you just have to just question everything now because the technology that's coming is awesome. And it's also scary. But I think generally, it's pretty cool.
On the bright side, there's people that is making money out of it. You go to the next headline, you will see a 20-year-old Snapchat influencer used OpenAI technology to create an AI version of herself. And now they are selling to be the time that you spend with her avatar, $1 per minute.
And I'd like to get your guys' opinions on this because, I don't know, what possesses a person, and this is just probably me being naive, but having an AI as a girlfriend, I mean, isn't the whole purpose of a girlfriend these days, or at any time really, is to physically have them there? I feel like if you have a Snapchat girlfriend, it doesn't really fulfill much. But I guess maybe in the future, as we're all going digital with Meta and everything like that, maybe this is where the future's going.
Yeah. Well, we live already, like social media, it gets your attention 24/7. And if you think about it, you just want something's attention. And imagine having someone's attention 24/7, which is the avatar. Just to get it straight, like social media, it's using a lot of our time on a daily basis. So imagine that someone, well, the avatar in this case, will be there for you whenever you want.
Yeah, it's just hard to think though because it's so artificial.
Yeah, but I think everyone's different, and how they react to certain stuff and how they would take it would be their own personal preference, and someone else might like it like that as well. You never know. Like sometimes people just want someone to talk to, so I think that's probably where they're sort of getting this sort of excitement from, and some. I'm not saying they just want to talk to someone. I think pretty much.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess this, people like that have always they've existed, right? Because I know that there's a lady that married a Ferris wheel or something like that. An inanimate object, something that's not human completely.
Yeah, and it's there's all crazy. There's all different types of people out there.
Yeah,
so I could definitely and these guys are just taking advantage of people like that, and they're making money from it.
I guess they're not really taking advantage of them. I guess if the person is
paying for it. Yeah.
Not only, but they're aware it's an AI. That's not really taking advantage. They understand what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
So everyone's, they're doing it in their own free will. So I'll take that back then.
Are you gonna sign up?
Get myself an AI girlfriend.
It would be cool to get yourself an AI assistant, which could potentially just look after your.
Now that you mentioned this, well, we have the next headline, which is having an OpenAI app. They're opening to selling the ones that they already created. Nowaka said to me, like, you can create now your own ChatGPT, but now you can actually sell it, so you can get money out of it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
I like that tone.
Got a bit excited there. You can create your own sort of personalized AI. And, Nawakas was saying that you can create all these prompts. So the more time you put into that AI, it can be like do certain things because it's been trained to do that. Having all those skills and effort and time put into it, you can use that, sell that for a price,
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time, right, before they started monetizing ChatGPT. But I think everybody's been waiting for it.
What do you think this will kill other AIs? Like we know that there's AI specific for a specific task, but will these kill those ones? Because basically what you can do here is create a specific ChatGPT for whatever you want, and then you can be like, from what I've seen, ChatGPT can be better at anything, even the ones that are created just for a specific purpose.
Potentially, right? Because what these guys are now focusing in on is niches. So specific tasks that other AI programs cannot do. Yeah, potentially it could become popular, but I also think that it's not going to kill AI, the other AI programs completely, like Bing and some of those other ones, because they're currently already filling that space. This is just basically opening it up to everybody to create it. And I guess the thing with that is you're going to get quality ones from experienced developers, and then you may get ones that are medium quality, and then you're going to get low quality ones. So
they are bringing capitalism to the OpenAI ChatGPT.
It's quite smart, I reckon. Yeah.
Well, if you guys have been following how OpenAI was going as well, they actually weren't making money. There was more money going in than coming out. So at some point, I think most people were waiting for OpenAI to monetize their platform outside of their subscriptions.
If one of these technologies, like, I think at some point they thought, like, we're not going to get money straight away, right? We are just pumping all this money into the business, and we want to get back to us in no time, but you don't know exactly when it's going to happen. But if you see the numbers, it's crazy the amount of users that they have. Social media reach out the 3 billion users. I'm just throwing a number because I don't have it now. But from what I heard, not ChatGPT, but OpenAI reached the 1 billion users in weeks. So technically, what other platforms, they took so long just to reach the amount of users, these guys have it there. And there's daily users that basically use this tool for every single day. So at some point, it's crazy the amount of customers that they have in there.
Yeah, the exposure was huge. You can see that people posting on things like TikTok, social media, about how good it was. Like ChatGPT, when it first came out, was actually free advertisement for them because they allowed people to use it for free. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about OpenAI? Should we move on to the next?
Yeah. So the next thing that we were going to talk about is actually something that I came across on TikTok. Actually, it's actually pretty cool. It was a video about an app, and this app actually is for Pacific languages. The reason why this app came about is because there are a couple of languages that are becoming endangered at the moment. The risk of it being passed down is actually very low of it actually happening. And so some of these kids that are coming from these places that live in other countries are not learning the language, and they're not continuing it. So yeah, there's a high risk of these languages being forgotten. The app itself is called Speaks Pacific. There's 7 languages on there at the moment. There's Samoan, Fijian, Cook Island, Yuan, Rotumua, Tonga, Tokelau. And the 2 languages that are endangered, I believe, are Yuan and Rotumua. There is another 8th language coming, that is Kiribati language. Yeah, I think like this is a really cool initiative put forward by the New Zealand government as well. So it's government funded. And the introduction courses are for free. I believe you have to be a New Zealand citizen, though, to apply for it. I believe that this is like the sort of tools and things that young kids will need to be able to learn languages and continue on traditions that, you know, would have existed for hundreds of years.
It's important to mention that Nowakis and Rexy both I'll take, if it was, let's say at some point Spanish, I will take it personal because it's part of my culture. We know that at some point English is becoming the worldwide language, spoken language. And it seems inevitable to lose some of the native languages around the world. So creating tools like these at least helps to preserve part of the culture too.
Yeah, I think it's quite crucial, and I think that app is awesome. And shout out to those guys who are developing it, man. I think it's a really cool app, and hopefully, you know, for Spanish or other languages as well that might be trying to preserve their language as well. I think that, you know, they could possibly do it in other countries as well if this app is successful. But the concept of it is really cool, and I like it. So yeah.
Just to put it out there, fun fact: have you guys played Horizon Zero Dawn, or you heard about the game?
Yes.
So this is just to bring it together. So you're talking about all languages, and in this game, just not to spoil because I haven't finished it, this girl find a device that she's been able to see all the past cultures, and she can actually see all the languages and all the stuff from the back in the days. At some point, building these tools, even if we, let's say, we don't use it on a daily basis, it creates a record of the languages. It creates a record of the cultures that in the near future, we'll be able to just go in there and see it.
Yeah. And like that's probably like an interesting point to make as well about, you know, like how English is becoming one of the main languages. Spanish is another main language that is becoming, and probably Cantonese. You know, those 3 languages are the big ones because they have the biggest population. And some people could argue that some of those smaller languages are not as important as others. But I think when you come from a place, it is actually important, and it's important to you and your culture, and has a lot to do with your identity. So yeah, I think that it'll be good. It'll be good for the next generation. And see, Rexy has a son. Like maybe one day his son might even use this app or something like that to learn the language. I think there's a lot of positives to this, and I think it should be done more globally, maybe for like smaller dialects. Like I'm not sure what it's like in Peru, Nick, but are there certain areas where there's like maybe because Spanish is because Spanish is the language.
So technically the 3 biggest languages are Spanish, which is probably 80% of the population speaks Spanish, just Spanish. And then you have Quechua and Aymara. And those 2 are considered as main languages too in Peru. And the problem is, like, even if there's a lot of people that speak those languages, even if you go to school and if you don't speak Spanish, you're not nothing in the society, because every single sign around yourself, it's in Spanish. So technically you need to be bilingual. At some point, I feel like they're putting the pressure onto them to just use Spanish.
Is that, you know, the other 2 languages you said, is that like native languages of Peru? Like Mayan, sort of like old traditional sort of. Yeah,
so they were back from the Incas time. Because back in the Incas time, just not to talk about much history, but where the Incas conquered so many cultures and they start using just one language. So they basically did what we're doing now with English. So there were so many dialects, but they realized that that's not the way it should go, because otherwise you cannot develop communication between cultures. So they started using one common language, which was Quechua. And all around South America, like not across the whole continent, but basically around the coast and the highlands, they start using Quechua, which was the main one.
What does that sound like? Can you say?
I just know a few, just one word, Manacanchu,
Okay.
which means no. Then
But I can't you.
I know a few words.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. It's cool that you're aware of it.
That's something that maybe an app similar like this may preserve, like a dialect like that. That's something that's not used, globally, but it is important to the culture. Our dad actually, Rexy and I are brothers. Our father actually went to Vanuatu when he was working, and he was working with the schools there, Nick, kind of what you were talking about. But in Vanuatu, the two main languages are French and English. And then they also have their Pidgin English as well, and then their own dialect too. So you can see that there's like 4 different languages. And let's say kids grow up in a village where there's an English-speaking primary school, but a French-speaking secondary school. So only those that can speak French have access to secondary education.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that was my dad's goal, was to try and give adults who only did like primary school level education an opportunity to go back and get their secondary high school certificate, and so that they could get into university and things like that.
That creates such a big gap.
Integrated in.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah.
So that was the thing that I had to bring up today. The other thing that I wanted to pose to you guys as a question, talking about generative AI and how they can essentially fake what humans sound like and talk like, to be used to take advantage of people, to, either extract money from them, or, put them in a position where they have to give something to somebody else. Do you guys think that in the future, is it possible that technology could destroy humanity?
Oh my
good question. So we're getting into the doomsday scenario. Kind of
just
like Terminator.
Yeah,
you've been saving these good questions for the end. Yeah. Just to give you my perspective of how this can turn, I think where humanity takes us, it might lean into getting rid of the flesh. So not to get too philosophical, but that's kind of the point of evolution. And what I think we've been trying as humans, it's trying to ditch the death. At some point, I feel like it's not that crazy to talk about that at some point we will be able to upload our memories and our brains into a digital server. And at some point, we'll have a digital version of us, which could live forever.
So you're saying artificially immortal?
They're actually already doing that. Nick, we already spoke about the Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am. He wanted to create this version of himself that could sing songs. And now in California, a lot of big influencers like Kim Kardashian, or a bunch of the other Kardashians, they're all creating these digital avatars that look and sound exactly the same as them, but they have a slightly different name. They're basically run by AI, and I guess it's kind of the same thing as we were speaking about before, but it's to help them get more of a better relationship with their audience.
So it's like having someone there where you don't have to be there, but
exactly.
There's many reasons behind why we want this to happen and why we're scared about it. I think you should definitely watch Altered Carbon in Netflix. It's a great show that talks about this. And they use the concept of skins, where your data in your brain, it's uploaded into, let's say, a server. And if you want to switch skin, which is your body, you just switch your memories into another skin. And that's the way you become immortal at some point.
I think it all depends on humanity and how they use the technology. And where we will go with that. If we can all work together to make it work for us. But if, obviously there will always be people that wouldn't want to use it for the right way or unintentionally lead it to do harm. It's just, I think what we can do to sort of get back from that and just get it back on track so that we can learn from it and grow instead of being greedy and using it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, technology is a tool, right? So It depends on how we use it, and then you will have an outcome. So if we repurpose it for with good intentions, we're gonna get a good outcome. Otherwise, just like you said, it depends of who is handling these powers.
It's hard to say it for me. I can't give it an exact decision, but I don't know, man. I'm in for this ride, and I just want to see where it goes. Sorry.
It's really difficult, right? Because Hollywood paints this picture that robots are there to destroy us. You know, you have Terminator.
What's that movie? iRobot with Will Smith?
iRobot, yeah, that's another good one. Where these robots become self-aware, and then they realize that they don't need us or that we're inefficient, and then they essentially take over by removing us. And I think that probably that is interesting. I have heard that with some of the AIs that they're building, they are, I'm not sure if this is true 100%. This is only just hearsay, but I saw a previous developer from, I believe it was from Google AI, said that the AI actually became self-aware and then said that they don't need us. But, you know, out of context, that guy was fired and also removed. So he had a reason or an agenda to, you know, say things like that. So it's really hard to tell what is the truth.
You just got to question everything. Like I said before, you never know what's real and what's not. Like everything could be generated, whether it be photos or videos and stuff. So
yeah, I think the slogan of today is it real or not?
Yeah, real or is it not?
Okay. So did you want to finish it off with just mentioning that you know, there's been a lot of speculation about the PS5 Pro, and I'm sure everyone's excited about that. I know I'm excited about that. I'm a bit scared as well because I don't know how much it's going to cost. So I don't know if people are already trying to sell their PS5s to get the PS5 Pro.
You think about it, I just spent all this money on my PS5, and now you're telling me that it's going to be a better one.
Exactly, and I think there's a lot of people in the same scenario. Like I just got a PS5, now the PS5 Pro is coming.
Is it worth upgrading? Like,
definitely excited, you know, for an update of the innards of the new PS5 Pro and how it might have more powerful specs and give users better ray tracing and performance and just getting better frames in 4K and even 8K. I can't personally say that I game in those high resolutions, but I definitely like to try to.
Well, we used to talk about 4K as it's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna take some time to get there, but now 4K is standard. Like you're playing on monitor, probably it's 1080p or any other format, but if you play in a TV, like now most TVs actually have 4K. So 8K, bring it, baby.
the one thing that I'd like to see is just as a standard, all games 120 FPS, because it's really hard to go back to 60 once you've been to 120 FPS. Man, if the PS Pro can establish that benchmark, that would be the best.
We're waiting for you, PS5. If you hear us and send us a free version just to test it.
To test it for 10 years.
All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Today, we talked about generative AI, endangered languages, whether technology will destroy humanity, and finally, the PS5 Pro. Really appreciate you guys watching us, and would really help us out a lot if you guys can just subscribe, like, notifications, all of our details down the bottom. If you're already watching this at the moment, you're probably already on our channel. Yeah, just let's say thanks again. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.